On this week's edition of The Overtime, we'll take a look at the rival game between Flagstaff and Coconino High School. Then, we'll discuss the start of NAU men's basketball and how they look so far this season. Lastly, we'll take an inside look at NAU football kicker Luis Aguilar. All that and more on this week's edition of The Overtime. Welcome back to The Overtime. My name is Lindsey Ridgway, and I'll be your host for tonight alongside reporter Michael Manny. Michael, it's so good to have you back. Are you ready to get into it?
Thanks, Lindsey. I'm ready. Let's get into it.
Starting us off tonight, we have the city championship football game between the Flagstaff Eagles and the Coconino Panthers. Sports reporter Kristen Chancellor has an inside look at how this game goes beyond just what happens on the field.
The 9-8 rivalry game was a hard-fought battle for both teams, but it is more than just the game itself.
Excited. They're always excited about this game. I don't have to get them energized or anything. You can see it all week. They love this game. A lot of those guys have friends on the other side. So it's a great rivalry.
The rivalry is more than competition. This has become a tradition shared by the students and community.
The atmosphere, you can tell it changes. Everyone's very hyped, very amped. We're just waiting for that Friday game under the lights to see the outcome, see which team comes out on top. So the fans are crazy, everyone's crazy, just love the game.
These teams are dedicated to being the best they can, even throughout the hardships of games.
I enjoy it a lot, but I think it just makes us want to come out and be the best we can. So
the game is the main focus of rivalry week for these schools, and it does play a part in the mindset of these players during the game, as they feel the pressure from the community on them.
Probably a little elevated above normal. They were definitely focused more this week. If you're Flag High alumni and you cross paths with one when they find out that, you're part of the program, there's only two questions they ask you. And one is, did you win region? And if you say no, the other one is, did you beat Coco? And so that's how important the rivalry is for us.
The Coconino Panthers came away with the win for the 5th year in a row, but fought hard with the Eagles.
It's a great rivalry game. We knew they were going to come out. We knew they probably put in a ton of time this week and came up with some stuff for us, but we're happy to come away with the win tonight.
And the Panthers have now won 5 straight city championships over the Eagles dating back to the 2017 season. They've clinched the 13th seed in the 4A state tournament and will travel down to the Valley to take on the 4th seed Glendale Cardinals. To move on, they'll have to do something they haven't done since 1984, according to flagcoco.com, and have only accomplished once in school history: win a road playoff game. You'll be able to hear the game on Calf Country Legends 93.5 FM, AM 930, or calflegends.com.
Up next, we have NAU men's basketball as they head into the start of their season. With losing 2 of their top shooters, all eyes have been on the team as well as Coach Burkhart to see what they will do next. Michael, what can you tell us about how the team is looking so far?
NAU men's basketball lost 2 key players when guards Cameron Shelton and Luke Evdalovich transferred after last season. But they've brought in new talent and have returned to Flagstaff after a 2-game road trip against Pac-12 schools. They open the year in Tucson to take on the Arizona Wildcats, led by new head coach Tommy Lloyd, losing 81-52. They then hung with the Washington Huskies last Thursday, trailing by just 2 at halftime. But they came up short 73-62. In both of these games, the team had 21 turnovers. NAU was also called for 28 fouls against the Huskies, their most in a game since December 2018. After returning home this week, they got their first win, blowing out the NAIA's Benedictine Mesa Redhawks 97-48. Carson Tao finished with a double-double, while redshirt junior Nick Maines and redshirt sophomore Keith Heyman each had 20 points. The Lumberjacks are taking on CSU Bakersfield at home as of recording. You can tune in on ESPN+.
Next, sports reporter Michael Manny will give us an inside look at one of the best kickers in NAU history, number 41 Luis Aguilar, and his journey leading up to his final game as a Lumberjack.
Growing up in Nogales, Arizona, Lumberjack kicker Luis Aguilar says he knew he wanted to play sports in college. he just wasn't intending on that sport being football.
My whole life I thought I was going to pursue soccer or baseball. And in high school, going into my senior year, I thought, soccer was going to be the move. I wanted to play college soccer.
It just so happened that Nogales High School head football coach Kevin Kuhn was looking for a kicker Aguilar's junior year. Aguilar's club soccer coach, Hugo Luna, encouraged him to kick for the football team, and the rest is history.
I fell in love with it, during the season. I fell in love with it. I knew I kind of wanted to pursue it now, maybe try to walk on somewhere.
During his senior year, after only playing football for a short time, NAU recruited him and offered a full-ride scholarship, something he and his family couldn't believe.
That moment was insane just because that's the last thing we kind of expected, especially in this sport. But I remember them crying, and we celebrated a lot the day after, and it felt like a dream.
6 years, 2 college degrees, and many pre- and postseason awards later, Aguilar is wrapping up his career as one of the best kickers in school history. And he's gotten to do it with 2 of his best friends, punter DJ Arnson and long snapper Justin Hathoot.
I can't ask for more. I mean, I got 2 guys that, they'll be at my wedding and they'll be at my funeral. I mean, these are lifelong best friends that I got out of this.
Aguilar says he wants to give the next level a shot. But first, he wants to focus on finishing strong.
At this point in my career, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to, have my 2 degrees and try to finish the season off strong, and then worry about what comes next.
It's been quite the journey for Luis Aguilar since he arrived on campus and redshirted as a freshman in 2016. Aguilar and the rest of the seniors will try to end their careers on a good note when they take on Cal Poly in the season finale this Saturday. Whether he gets an opportunity at the next level or not, Aguilar has left a legacy as one of the best kickers in school history.
After the break, sports reporter Manny and Brenden Martin will be discussing all things NFL. Stay tuned.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the pineapple.
Nope, I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay. You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope, I'm high. Let's order in. Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire? Only you can prevent wildfires.
And welcome back to The Overtime. I'm joined now by preview reporter Brenden Martin. And Brenden, something on the mind of I think a lot of football fans, especially NFL fans, every time it happens, and once again this past weekend. Should there be ties in the NFL?
Good question, Michael. Ties have been an issue in the NFL for quite some time now, no matter which way you look at it. Name me any other professional sport, baseball, basketball, you name it. There are no ties in those. They always go to overtime and keep playing until a winner is determined. Now in football, if no team scores by the end of halftime, the game's over. It's a tie. I think it's very odd of the NFL that is a thing. Now, understandably so, football is a very dangerous full contact sport to where exposing players to double or even triple overtimes could be very dangerous. But at the same time, there's got to be a better way to deal with this.
And you think that's been the conversation throughout the years. Maybe the NFL adopts something like college football where they take turns trying to score from the red zone and do it like that. Or they just go to double overtime. Or there's been a lot of ideas thrown out there for sure. And then there's some games that you just think about that game was so bad it deserves to end in a tie. Think about that Cardinals-Seahawks game in 2016. That's what I think of. A 6-6 after 4 quarters. Arizona drives down the field. Chandler Catanzaro, a 24-yard attempt, misses it. Seattle drives down the field. Stephen Hauschka, a 28-yard attempt. He misses it. game ends in a 6-6 tie. There's just some games that are so bad that they almost deserve to end in a tie.
It's quite funny when those things actually happen because they're such a rarity, right? I mean, we've seen it just this past weekend with Steelers-Lions, Ben Roethlisberger being out, the Lions coming in needing a win. They hadn't had a win all year, and they did come out with a tie. And as mixed feelings as those are, I think that the college football rules about, 2-point conversion, starting in the red zone, sudden death, I think those are some things that the NFL needs to look at.
And sometimes the teams just run out of time, just like we're out of time right now. Brenden will be back after the break with his weekend previews.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. Why would you do that?
Probably okay isn't okay. Call a cab, a car, or a friend.
Good choice.
Welcome back to The Overtime. I'm your weekend reporter, Brenden Martin. We've got a lot of sports happening across northern Arizona this week, so let's get right into it. Starting with NAU basketball, both the men's and women's team tipped off last week against a pair of Pac-12 opponents. The men's team will have a 2-game stretch against the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley Saturday in the South Padre Island Battle on the Beach, and once again on Monday at the Roll Activity Center. On the women's side, NAU also started its slate of games against a pair of Pac-12 teams, Washington State and Washington. While both matches ended in losses, the Lumberjacks only fell by single digits both times, and even went on a 14-0 run late in the fourth quarter against the Huskies. Leading the charge for the ladies has been Nina Radford. The redshirt junior guard, who missed all of last season, has averaged 14 points across both games. They will look to use those close losses as valuable experience heading into tomorrow's game against UTEP at 7 p.m. in El Paso. Shifting gears to football, the Coconino Panthers will square off against the 4th-seeded Glendale Cardinals, whose only loss came against Prescott at the very start of the season. They have won 9 straight games since. The playoffs start at the top of the hour, and you can listen in to the game on CAF Country 93.5 AM 930 radio, on CAFlegends.com, or watch it live on Great Circle Media TV on YouTube. Staying with football, NU had its senior day game Saturday afternoon against the number 9 ranked Montana Grizzlies. Montana came to play against a depleted Lumberjack squad in a 30-3 win. NU was missing starting freshman quarterback RJ Martinez and redshirt freshman backup quarterback Jeff Widener, both out with knee injuries. And with 1 game left in the season, it seems possible that Martinez could be held out for that season finale against the 2-8 Cal Poly Mustangs, who got their first conference win of the season last week against Idaho State, thanks to a game-winning field goal with 4 seconds left. The final NU football game will take place in San Luis Obispo at Alex G. Spano Stadium on Saturday at 6:05 p.m. That's going to do it for me. Back to Lindsey at the desk.
And that's all we have for this edition of The Overtime. Special thanks to sports reporter Michael Manny and Brenden Martin. With Thanksgiving being next week, there will not be a show, but stay tuned for our next edition on December 3rd. Have a great weekend and happy Thanksgiving.